Welcome to another bean pick. This is the Energy 32 by Elite. This is one of their new bows for 2014. Last month we went over the Energy 35, and this month we're going to do the 32. The 35 and the 32 are their two main bows for this year. They also have a woman's bow, and then they have their tour, which has been successful in the past. The 35 is a little bit longer axle to axle, and the 32 is a shorter axle to axle bow. It comes in at 31 and 3/4 inch axle to axle. It's a 7-inch brace height, just like the 35 is. This bow is geared for hunting situations. Because of its compactness, then you should be able to have a lot more maneuverability than you will with the 35 for ground blinds, tree stands. I have hunted with the 35 and the 32. I didn't find the 35 to be cumbersome at all. I didn't find it to be too heavy at all for any hunting situation. This is a smaller, compact version for those guys that like something in a more compact package for hunting. The speeds on this bow is a little bit better than the 35, and it comes in at 323 is the IBO for this for 70 pounds, 29 inch. Now this bow is set up with 65-pound limbs right now, and it peaks out at 66 pounds. It's set at 29-inch draw, and this bow has the Elite Archery stabilizer on it. You got the IQ Retina lock sight. It's got a QAD HDX. It's got a D-loop installed, and it has the a G5 Meta peep on there too. Now, one thing to note, because I get a lot of customers ask me this, is about all the dampening that comes on the bows. Am I putting that on after the fact or not? All this stuff that's on this bow comes straight from the factory. You have limb savers on each limb. You have cable leeches here and here on the tops and the bottoms. You have speed knocks here, and then you also have string leeches as well. And all that's part of the dampening system that Elite puts on the bow from the factory. And so that it's going to come from the factory like that, so it's going to be quiet right out of the box. And so all the speed tests we're doing is with the bow set up just like it is. And so all the things that I named off on this bow was on it when I done the speed test a few minutes ago. Now I was shooting that Gold Tip Velocity Pro arrow I used a lot for test. It weighs about 300, I believe 56 grain. And I was getting 305 out of this bow, and that's with everything on it. And we've done a couple shots, and it was 305. So that gives you a baseline for the speeds, real world with the bow set up, and gives you something to think about there. Now with the 2014 bows, Elite carried on what they had done in the past with the carry coat finish. You got that on your cams, your cable rod, your string suppressor rod. Elite also has come out with, and we'll come out with a video with it later, is a QAD rest that has a carry coat finish that is made to fit on Elite bows better than like a standard HDX would. Now this one fits on there fine, but it's pushed a little bit far this way to line up with the riser, and they've come up with that HDX, and we'll bring that to you in another video. But this bow shoots very, very good. It's dead in the hand, it's super quiet, and it is fast. I find the draw cycle on this bow a little bit different than the 35. The 35 is super smooth all the way back with no hump. This bow, to me, doesn't have that hump, but to me, the draw cycle is a little bit stiffer. And I'm equating that to the geometry of the bow. The other one's longer axle to axle, and so that is spread across the length of the riser, versus this being a short riser, is what I'm equating it to. I'm not sure exactly why that's what that difference is, but this one does draw a little bit different than 32. They're both super smooth. They're both incredible bows as far as dead in hand, being quiet, fast, and for what they are, and they're great bows. It's just that's the difference between the two, and that's been the number one question I've got so far. But what's the difference between the 32 and 35? And so I'm going to draw the bow back, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to just draw the bow back, anchor, and shoot a shot just so you can get a feel of that draw cycle and the shot itself. Okay, and then the second arrow, I'll pull it back and let down like I normally do, just to kind of show you the let-offs and everything. But you can see the bow did not move at all on that shot. Draw cycle, smooth. The shot is super quiet. You know, the noise you're hearing is the arrow hitting the target, which is about 10 yards away. But the bow did not move at all. I've shot the bow without a stabilizer, and it's pretty much dead in the hand with no stabilizer. But with the stabilizer, it helps quiet it down and just gives you that extra stability. And with this arrow, I'm going to draw it back, and I'm going to kind of push it forward a little bit, just so you can kind of see the let-offs. So we're going to let down, and you can see there the difference of the let-off. I believe the 35 has a little bit deeper valley than the 32 does, as far as having to push forward, kind of like the Elite Answer was. But that's still very easy to hold at full weight. It's not want to jerk and take your arm off. I just kept letting down very, very easy, and you know, I had about a 1/4 inch or so there to play with. But this is the Elite Energy 32. We have these in stock. You can come by our shop here in Clemens, North Carolina, and shoot these. Our number is 336-564-2400. Our email address is eric, E-R-I-C, @beanoutdoors.com. You can feel free to email us or call us, and we'll be glad to talk about Elites or any question you have as far as shooting them. And stay tuned, and we'll bring you more Elite products in the future.